Now that was some guts. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Thursday here on Dodgers Latest. Huge game last night for the Dodgers, and it has a lot of postseason implications, and not necessarily for what you think. You can always hit me up right here on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. We've gotten tons of comments from you. We've been reading and responding to you about Dave Roberts, about Emmett Sheehan, about his managerial style, and I'm sure we're going to get a bunch more. And we invite you to hit us up here on the YouTube page at Dodgers Latest. Kind of the subscriber count's going up. Like, subscribe, share, and let's get right into it. You know, the Dodger bullpen has been a disaster. Fire starters. And frankly, I wouldn't trust him either if I was Blake Snell. And then last night, Blake Snell threw an absolute gem. 7 shutout innings, 12 strikeouts. But it was what happened in that 7th inning that I think may forever change this Dodgers season. And here's why. Blake Snell was up over 100 pitches, right? He was dealing 12 strikeouts. He finished with 12 strikeouts. And in that 7th inning, it was still a tight ball game. Dodgers ended up winning 5-0, but put it away late. Snell, who had been dealing, ended up walking 2 guys. And it looked like Dave Roberts was going to come out and pull him, right? Because Snell was up over 100 pitches. And you could see Snell saying, no, I got this. I got this. I got this. And he sort of basically bullied, in a good way, in a respectful way, Dave Roberts from pulling him from the game, and he ended up striking out the last batter. Dodger Stadium roars. Snell ends up with the 7 shutout innings and the 12 Ks. You know, and I think it's 2 things. It's an indictment on the bullpen. Like, listen, he even said it, not in an insulting way. Say, listen, I don't like the bullpen finishing my stuff. Let me go out here and finish my stuff. And he was brilliant. And then when you look what he did his last time out against Colorado, that's 13 shutout innings for Blake Snell in his last 2 starts, 23 strikeouts. And I think that set a tone. It set a tone for Dave Roberts. It set a tone for the clubhouse. It set a tone for the bullpen. That, guys, we are going to finish what we start. We are going to, it's time for us to put up or shut up, because at the end of the day, it's about results. And the bullpen's been terrible. The starters have been doing their job, and I think Blake Snell sent a message to everybody in that clubhouse, everybody in that dugout, everybody in that bullpen to tighten up and get it right. And I love to see what Blake Snell did. Didn't show anybody up. And but did you notice that Tanner Scott came in the 9th inning and pitched a shutout inning? That's 3 straight outings for Tanner Scott without giving up a run. Maybe he's turned the corner. Maybe he's found what was going on. You know, they were talking on the broadcast how he trimmed his beard up a little bit, was using a different sleeve to put on his arm. Whatever it is, he's been pitching better. But I think Blake Snell, this could be a seminal moment for the Dodgers season. The way he pitched and the way he told Dave Roberts, I got it. And he certainly did. As the Dodgers avoid being swept by the Phillies, knock the magic numbers down, we'll get into that in a second, and leave the Phillies with, I think, an October message. And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. I'm not saying that because at the end of the day, Dodgers lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, avoided getting swept, ended up losing 4 out of 6 to them during the regular season. But if you look at what they did to the Phillies starters in this series, these are the guys that the Phillies are going to throw out there in the postseason. You know, they're the NL East champions. Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez, who's a Cy Young candidate, and Jesus Luzardo. Look at what they did to the starters. In 20 innings, they got 20 hits off of them and 11 earned runs. That's almost an ERA of 5 against the Philly starters. They got to Johan Duran. They ended up having him blow a save on Monday night. Yes, they came back to win, but I think those are things that I think if you're looking for little nuances, looking for things to grow for the Dodgers, I don't think the Dodgers have ever been intimidated by anybody. The Dodgers have always been the bullies in this division, in this league, the last 4 or 5 years. But I think they sent a message, a very subtle one, to the Phillies that, hey, we beat up on your guys. Now, if our bullpen didn't poop the bed, we would have popped, maybe even swept the series. So I think it's incumbent on the Dodgers to sort of clean up their act, button up their bullpen, and what they did to that Philly starter, the Dodgers didn't stop hitting. You know, they ended up absolutely, hitting these guys around, and I think send a very clear message that this team is ready to compete, and they just need that end of the line, right? The guys to come in, the firemen to put out the fire. And I'll tell you what, for as upset as I was the first 2 games, I feel a lot better because I think this may have turned the corner. Now, baseball is an everyday business. They could go out and get clobbered tonight, and we're all in panic again. But I came out of that win super positive, and that series super positive considering they lost 2 out of 3. But what they did to those Philly starters, I think may send a message, because the Dodgers and Phillies could end up meeting each other in the postseason. As it stands now, Dodgers would be in the wild card series. If the Dodgers defeat, right now it's the Mets. Dodgers beat the Mets in the wild card series. It would be a 3-6 matchup between the Dodgers and Mets. They would play the number 2 seed, would be the Dodgers in the division series, and that would be the Phillies in a best of 5, with the first 2 games being at Citizens Bank Ballpark, which has been a house of horrors for the Dodgers in the postseason. But an interesting item there as the Dodgers and Phillies wrap up the regular season, and hopefully we'll meet again in October. Now on to the next one, right? That's the thing about baseball. On to the next one. The Giants come to town. It's a 4-game series starting tonight, and it is, tell you what, the pitching matchups are going to be great. Tonight, Battle of the Aces. It's Logan Webb for the Giants, Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. Friday, it's a Cy Young battle between Robbie Ray of San Francisco and Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. Giants haven't announced who they're starting Saturday or Sunday, but the Giants have not. But the Dodgers have Tyler Glasnow on Saturday and Emmett Sheehan on Sunday. Here's why this is important. The Giants and Dodgers always have fun in September, right? San Francisco currently is tied with the Reds, 2 games out of that last wild card spot. They trail the Mets. Problem is, there's a team ahead of them. Arizona is a game and a half behind the Mets for that last wild card spot. Dodgers could eliminate the Giants. If the Dodgers end up sweeping the series, or maybe even winning 3 out of 4, Giants could be done from contention in the National League, and who wouldn't like that? I used to always say any successful season is when you finish higher than the Giants, but you add a little sprinkle on there, eliminating the Giants, whoo, buddy. And the Dodgers have done well against San Francisco this year. They've beaten them 6 out of 9, won 2 out of 3 last weekend in San Francisco, scored in double-digit runs in the 2 wins over the weekend. So the Dodgers and Giants, 4-game series starting tonight, and some great pitching in store for you at Dodger Stadium, as the Giants won a tough game in Arizona yesterday in extra innings. They were scoreless through 9, ended up winning 5-1 in extra innings because of the Giants got 5 in the top of their half of extra innings, and the Diamondbacks answered with 1. But Giants have, offensively, they've been a bit of a mess. Their pitching has been pretty good, and they're throwing all their best at the Dodgers this weekend. Giants fighting for their playoff lives, and the Dodgers trying to put away the Giants, and at the same time get those magic numbers oh so closer. And let's talk about those magic numbers. There's 2 of them that the Dodgers are keying in on. First one is 2. The magic number is 2 to make the playoffs, right? The Cubs have clinched a postseason spot. They did that yesterday. So we've got 3 teams in the dance, the Brewers, the Phillies, and the Cubs. If the Dodgers win 2 more games, they don't even need any help, 2 more games the rest of the way, and there are 10 games left in the regular season, the Dodgers will clinch at the very least a wild card spot. That's why I'm saying if they win 2 games against the Giants, shoot, they can eliminate the Giants tonight. The Giants would be done if the Dodgers win tonight. 1 game against the Giants, by a victory by the Dodgers, eliminates the Giants. Now, the Reds are still in it, Arizona's still in it, but the Dodgers would get into the playoffs no matter what with a win. With a win tonight against the Giants, eliminate them, and again, the magic number would be 2 for the Dodgers. So 2 wins this weekend against the Giants gets the Dodgers in the playoffs no matter what, and a 1 win against the Giants eliminates the Giants from postseason contention, all right? And finally, what's the other magic number? Well, the other magic number is 8, and that's for the Dodgers to win the West, right? Any combination of Dodger wins or Padre losses that equal 8, and the Dodgers win the National League West. Remember, the Dodgers, all they have to do is finish tied with the Padres, and they win the division if both teams get in the playoffs, because the Dodgers won the season series against San Diego. So, who does everybody play? Well, obviously the Dodgers are hosting the Giants this weekend. San Diego, they're in New York to play the Mets today and then spend the weekend on the south side of Chicago. So don't expect to get a lot of help from them. Dodgers are going to have to take care of their own business. Arizona, who is a game and a half behind the Mets for that last wildcard spot, they host the Phillies this weekend. Dodgers, by the way, will be in Arizona next week for the final road trip of the season. The Giants and Reds, they are 2 games behind the Mets, and a half a game behind Arizona. for that final wild card spot. So lots of machinations, lots of pieces as the Dodgers try to wrap up and win the division once again and get back into the postseason, and at the same time give the Giants 86 them out of the regular season. It's the last 4 games at home during the regular season. Dodgers wrap up the regular season at home this weekend with the Giants. Then we'll have Monday off. This is a crazy road trip. 3 in Arizona, who is still fighting for that last wildcard spot, and 3 in Seattle as the Mariners are trying to win their division. They are in the dogfight with the Houston Astros. Seattle, again, it looks like whoever doesn't win that division will be the wild card, but you don't want to be the wild card because you'd have to be on the road. So hopefully, by the time the Dodgers get to Seattle, there won't be much to play for in terms of the Mariners, and the Dodgers can get ready and set their postseason roster because it looks like it will start on Tuesday. September 30th would be Game 1 of the Wild Card Series. Be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If it goes the distance of 3 games, it would all be at Dodger Stadium. Then the division series would start Saturday, October 4th. Dodgers will most likely be on the road. It'll be in Philadelphia or maybe even Milwaukee. But it looks like probably Philadelphia to start the division series if they can beat either the Mets, Reds, Giants, or Diamondbacks in that wild card. So a lot is still up in the air, but it looks like the Dodgers hopefully will be popping some champagne in the next 5 or 6 days. All right, remember J-Rod Show, X and Instagram. That's where you can hit me up. Comments here on the webpage, here on YouTube. Hit those thumbs up buttons. And I know you guys are against Dave Roberts, but I keep saying this. Dave Roberts is going to get a statue at Dodger Stadium for his championships. And if he can wrap up another one this year, tall order this year, this could be his best job ever if he can pull this one off. All right, Giants tonight. Always good to see them in town and always good to send them packing. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and remember, it's always time for Dodger baseball.